And then what is the next option for those patients who are only for heparin, like pregnant females in first trimester?
Yeah. Very rare, very, very rare that we've seen HIT in these patients, extremely rare. If it does occur, I asked the hematologist, because this is completely out of my area. We've got a very, very good hematologist, Beverly Hunt. She sometimes uses fondaparinux, which is a different molecular heparin. But the studies in the animals, at least, show that it doesn't protect against pregnancy loss. But that's not, this is close liaison. As I said earlier, thrombocytopenia is nearly always associated with the antiphospholipid antibodies. It's nearly always an autoimmune problem rather than HIT. And there is a specific test to diagnose HIT in these patients, as you know. Yeah. But I can't remember the last patient we had with heparin-induced thrombocytopenia. I just can't remember them. We just don't see it.
I agree with you, sir. I have 10-year experience using heparin on 20,000 patients in dialysis unit. We have to do that, and I could not see even a single patient with HIT, although it has been reported in the ethics.
Yeah. Did we run out of time? Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
That was brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this excellent talk in such an important disease entry. So I would like to invite our next speaker, Dr. Tahira, who is going to talk about rheumatic manifestations of infectious diseases. After having such a brilliant talk and such a marvelous presentation by Dr. Cruz, I think it will be a different topic and a different entity I'm going to talk about. But I hope you will be able to learn something from this, or it might refresh some of our memory. So I'm going to talk about a rheumatic manifestation of the infectious diseases. Most of the people who come to our clinic, excuse me, it's not working. Patients who come to our clinic with the joint or muscle pain or all these complaints, they are really suffering from the primary joint disorder. But many of the patients do have some other systemic illness going on that many of the patients, they have other systemic infection or illnesses that is causing these joint symptoms, so we should be aware of this as well. So there are a large number of infections that have musculoskeletal infections, manifestations, and some of these are like streptococcal infection, Salmonella, Shigella, Campylobacter, some viral infections like HCV, HBV, tuberculosis, and these Borrelia burgdorferi. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the rheumatic fever, and most of us do come across that in our daily practice that many of our patients who are being treated as rheumatic fever actually do not have rheumatic fever. So this is a systemic and immune-mediated disease that is triggered by pharyngeal infection with a group A streptococcal bacteria. The incidence is about 0.23 to 1.88 patients per 100,000 population, and this is an international incidence. Rheumatic heart disease accounts for 25 to 50% of all cardiac manifestations internationally, and it's really common in our area like Middle East, Indian subcontinent, and some areas of Africa and South America. And this is because of obviously overcrowding and poverty and all these factors. There are 20 million new cases that is occurring each year, and the introduction of the antibiotics has been associated with a rapid worldwide decline in the incidence of acute rheumatic fever. So the initial attack of ARF occurs most frequently at 6 to 20 years, so it's a disease of basically young people, and it rarely occurs